All right, guys, so today we're covering something kind of interesting, and that is the interaction between the senior students and the more newer students. And I'm looking forward to this partly because there tends to always be that, like, you know, there's the more senior students and there's the newer students, and especially when you're wearing gis and you got different belts, it's very clear what that hierarchy is. And some gyms have different attitudes towards that. Some gyms, I've been to gyms where it's kind of like you don't talk to the senior students unless spoken to. And, you know, so there's different ways that gyms handle what that means. And so I think this will be really exciting to talk about, well, what should your relationship be if you're a newer person? And what should your relationship be to the newer guys if you've been here for a while?
Yeah, so guys, I just want to say to start off, when it comes to martial arts, especially with the arts that we're doing here, Muay Thai, which is Thai culture, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, while it is Brazilian, comes heavily from Japanese culture, Budo culture, okay? The idea of the senior student and the novice student working together is very important. Now here in the States, you will see some schools have like, well, this is just beginner class and this is just advanced class, and there is some merits to that. I will never discredit that. But again, with the cultures we're doing, the idea of senior students helping novice students develop not only will help the fellow student, it'll help the school, and it'll help ultimately themselves, okay? Now, why? Why does that do all of that, okay? So the first thing, guys, when we have novice students, you know, people that are new to martial arts, it's going to be very intimidating, you know, especially if you're starting at a later age. You know, luckily I started this when I was a young teen, so I've been in it for a long time, but I feel for my 30 and 40-year-olds that have never been in a martial arts gym and like come in and, you know, want to learn but almost feel intimidated or frightened or even like embarrassed to ask questions or ask for help. Now this is where our senior students come in. The reason we work together is so that you can kind of ease their worries, right? You're there, you know what you're doing. You know, if you're in Muay Thai, you're a good Muay Thai practitioner. If you're in my Jiu-Jitsu class, you're a good Jiu-Jitero, okay? You're there to kind of help them acclimate to our school, our class, our program, and kind of join that community, okay? If you always are like, kind of like the ones like Forsyth where it's like, oh, you can't talk to the upper ranks, that's always going to have like a very weird divide and wall. Guys, I come from a very chill jiu-jitsu culture. We're all friends here. I'm a brown belt. You can always ask me to roll. It's not like, you know, you can, some schools like, oh, you can't ask the higher rank to spar. No, you can always ask me or anyone else in this gym to spar to roll. But anyway, going back to it. Another big thing, guys, is as the senior student, you're always trying to understand your art better, okay? Now, what better way to understand the art than to essentially teach what I am teaching in a small scale to one person, right? Like, that is going to help you mentally understand the techniques we're doing better. Something I really valued was when I was in Chicago. I was a blue belt, part of a very big team, and I would help the newer white belts, and then the purples and browns would help me, and then the black belts would help them. It was like this flowing synergy chain that just like everyone benefited. No one was worried to ask a question. You know, everyone was open and actually wanted to help teach. You know, that was an exciting thing. So as far as that, you're just like, as the advanced student or the senior student, you're learning how to understand the art that you're training in better, okay? And you're also helping a fellow student kind of take the worry out of their training, okay? Another thing that's really beneficial for is just like this harmonious culture in the gym. Again, I've been at some schools, and Forrest's been at some schools where essentially it's white belts on one side and then color belts on the other side, so blues, purples, browns, blacks. Or in Muay Thai, it was these noobs get the corner with the ratty equipment, and all the advanced people are over here.
They get the ring.
They get the ring, and the coach maybe comes over 5 minutes of an hour class, maybe critiques you or not, and then goes back to his advanced people. That can feel kind of crappy, you know, let's be real, that doesn't feel good. You know, you're paying for training and you feel like maybe you're not getting it or you're not being paid attention to. That's when our senior students come in. Now they're kind of being an aid in that training, okay? I, as the coach, I can go around and help 12 people, but if you have one person that is a senior student, they can help you and maybe the group next to you. right? And then eventually, of course, guys, as a senior student, you'll get a round in and you'll get multiple rounds in with someone of your own experience. So you'll still get that work in, but never feel like it's a waste. It's not. It's all going towards better understanding and better training in your martial art.
Awesome. And, like everybody has their own goals for getting into martial arts. I know for me, a really important one is the self-development, the character development. And, Bruce Lee talks about it. There's actually a quote where he said, the punches and the kicks are tools to kill the ego. And so it always seems, and again, not everybody has that as their goal, but to be at a gym where you feel like the longer you're there, the more the ego grows. I think you can approach it. It's all in how you approach it. And so you go, what do I want to get out of this? And if it's, I want to be, improve myself as a person through the martial arts, then taking the opportunity as you advance to actually go, how do I help the people coming up? Like, here's a chance to actually give all the knowledge I've received here. Now I have a chance to give. And so, yeah, I think that it's definitely.
I think that's important. It's martial arts, while of course we're in the modern age, so we have like instructionals online and YouTube and all these things. But the reason the martial arts have lasted so long is this like tradition of like, I've learned from my coaches, I teach you, and eventually you'll teach the next generation, and hopefully someone from that will teach the next. It's this like very old school passing down of knowledge that like almost doesn't exist in a lot of things anymore. And that's something I think we should value. We should value that like our arts continue on by us being helpful and uplifting to others and getting them passionate enough to want to continue what we're doing.
Yeah. I like that. Also, another thing is every martial arts instructor I've ever talked to always says that they felt like they went up another gear when they started teaching.
Yep.
And I'm curious to know, first of all, is that your experience? And second of all, why do you think that is?
Definitely. So, I started teaching back when I was a blue belt. I got asked by my black belt coach to teach when he would be away on seminars or training around the world or competitions. I would fill in for him, and then later on I would run a program at Team 1 MMA in Chicago where I would advance through the ranks and teach. But what helped out so immensely was like, well, I have to teach this arm bar or this round kick to this person, okay? I know how to do it in my head. Do I know it well enough to articulate it while I'm showing someone else? When you do that, you now start understanding the techniques. It's like breaking down, an atom to its little molecules. You start seeing the molecules in the techniques. You see like, oh, okay, everything, all these little movements together create this one big thing, and you learn it through teaching because you have to explain it. You have to demonstrate it on a daily or weekly basis. So I think teaching, even on a low level scale, really helps out, just as martial arts helps you understand what you're doing even better.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, there's just so many techniques, so much to learn that when, a coach is like, all right, you're going to put your foot here, you're going to do that, you're going to do this. It's like you don't have time to actually think, why am I putting my foot there?
Yes.
Until somebody asks you, so why do you want me to put my foot there? Like, well,
why am I putting my foot there?
Yeah. Something my instructor used to also say too is like, if you're going to learn boxing, would you rather learn it from Muhammad Ali or D'Angelo, Muhammad Ali's coach? You want to learn it from the coach.
Yes.
Because, he knows how to teach it. And so, learning how to teach it really gives you a next level of skills.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Like I was thinking about, I think one of our favorite boxers, the modern day Manny Pacquiao. Like Manny Pacquiao's a great boxer. People don't want to go to Manny Pacquiao to learn box. They want to go to Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is the teacher of the great. So it's like that's exactly who you want to go to. And again, like Mike Tyson, he's great. Do you want to go to Mike Tyson or do you want to go to Customato, who trained Mike Tyson? It's all about that. It's like you want to go to the person who taught these great people because they know how to teach the fundamentals so well to make these people great.
Yeah. Awesome, guys.